Hey guys, okay, so I've recently just finished watching Zahir Malik's tag video, and he tagged me, so I figured where better than to test a new batch of headsets that I recently purchased on eBay. Um, this being one of them, where better to test it than right now as a kind of a little shout out to the Z-Man. So I'm going to jump straight into these questions, and I'm obviously going to be tagging a couple of people at the end. So yeah, first question is best pickup. It's a tough one. I think I've had a couple this year, which has been pretty good. I think my best as far as profit was a video game haul that I picked up in a charity shop, which was I paid £34 for about 26 games, and in that bundle there was a GameCube game called Fire Emblem. Uh, I paid like £1.50 for the game, you know, when you break it down to individual prices, and I sold it for £77.50 about 2 days later. I probably could have got a lot more on it on FBA for it, but this was before I was doing FBA. But yeah, that was a really good quick turnaround. But also one recently that was a Pass Out 1987 adult drinking game, and I picked it up for £2.50 about a week ago. Sent it into FBA, and it's already sold for just over £40. So for me, that's great profit margin, a great pickup, because it was something that I didn't really know much about. So yeah, that's probably my best two pickups. Biggest sourcing fail. This one's easy. You can't quite see it, but just there, just that box there, is a Back to the Future Palm Racer remote control car. I paid £15 for it on Gumtree. It was complete. It was working. All the stuff that we like as resellers to hear. This sold on eBay for about £50, and it sold when I bought it. It sold like 3 times that week for £50. I've had that for like 3 months now, and the plan was to try and shift it kind of roughly when the Back to the Future day was happening. I knew I'd be able to cash in on it then. Unfortunately, I got it and it's missing a right wing mirror, and I thought, you know what, it's no big deal, it's not a problem, I'll just drop £10 off the price, I'll still make money. Then I tested it out and it wouldn't work, so I opened up the battery compartment of the car and the controller. Both of them were so much corrosion, it's unbelievable. So I spent like an hour cleaning up this corrosion, finally got it to work, and then I found out that the wheels obviously go left and right as you move the controller. It would go left fine, it would go right fine, but when you try to go back left, it would just get stuck the same direction, so the car would end up just going round and round all the time. And I still have it. It's been stripped down to its bare components, and I kind of figured I could fix the movement, so I ordered some thermal grease, which would basically just grease up the little cogs inside to help move it. I accidentally ordered it from a Malaysian buyer, who I was supposed to order from a UK buyer, UK seller. It took over 45 days to get to me, which just prolonged it and prolonged it. Back to the Future day went and gone, and now I don't know what to do with it. I mean, I'm in it now for almost 20 quid. It was the biggest foul of mine. We all pick up fouls, you know, usually they're a couple of quid here and there, which of course soon add up, but that one was probably my biggest foul. To spend almost 20 quid and have nothing to show for it is pretty poor. So yeah, that's my biggest foul. Next one, best investment in your business this year other than stock. I have to say, I keep talking about it in my FBA videos, but the pallet grade cling film that I picked up is fantastic. It has so many uses, not just to secure things for FBA, but also to make the insides of games look a bit better and a little bit neater. You know, I even used it to fix my wardrobe here, which is such a strong piece of plastic when you wrap it around. That the wardrobe that I have here was leaning forward, so I've just wrapped all this stuff around it, fixed up, and now it's solid as a rock. I wouldn't recommend anyone to fix their wardrobe with cling film, but it's fantastic stuff and so versatile. This time next year, my opinion might change on this, because today I actually picked up a thermal printer for my FBA labels. I thought I'd better go and do this properly, and I picked up a Brother printer, which, you know, hopefully should do the job pretty well. This time next year I might be saying, oh, that printer was fantastic, but you never know. But for now, it's definitely that palette cling film. It has so many uses for the business. It's great stuff. Best advice you have received from the community this year? Probably when I was still on the fence about FBA, I had so many people just say, no, just do it. Just get a box of 10, 15, 20 items. It doesn't have to be much. Just get that stuff into FBA for Christmas. See how it goes. You know, you're not going to lose much money over it if it doesn't sell. It's cheap to send in, and once you've done it, you'll know about it. You'll know you can upscale, and everything will be rosy in the FBA garden, as it were. So yeah, you know, that was a great advice, because I was on the fence. I had so many issues, but there was a lot of people that was, you know, kind of telling me, just do it. You know, you won't regret it. Go for it. And hey, if it doesn't work out, you've got eBay anyway. And if it wasn't for the community, I probably wouldn't have taken that step to FBA. I would have felt it was a bit too much for me at my current level. But it's turned out that actually it's been really fruitful for me. So yeah, that was probably the best advice that I've had given to me. Funniest, strangest boot fair experience of the year. One springs to mind, which was more of an embarrassing moment for me. It's very much along the lines of Ben Fitzpatrick, if you've watched his review video, when he speaks about picking up the mug that was actually belonged to the seller. This is kind of along them lines with the embarrassment factor. What it was is, I went up to this stall, and sitting there, still in its bag, was a Compare the Market Alexandra Oleg meerkat plush toy. As I say, still in the box. It had its little certificate. It was mint condition, and I knew that on eBay I could get between 15 and 20 quid for this, and I figured if I could get it for £2 or £3, it's a boot sale. That's the kind of prices that you're looking at usually. If I could get it for £2 or £3, I'd be happy with that. And I went up to the lady at the store, and I just said, oh, you know, hi, excuse me, may I ask how much the meerkat plush is? And she walked over to the store, and she kind of looked around, looked at it, looked at me, and in the deepest Russian accent, she told me it was £14. And I'm not going to try and mimic the accent. It's probably going to come out very offensive if I try, but it was the deepest Russian accent. And if you have seen the meerkat adverts, you'll know that he speaks with a very deep Russian accent. So I assumed she was putting on the accent because of the meerkat. So I basically laughed and went, oh, great accent, it sounds just like him. And she gave me this really dirty look, and basically said, what do you mean accent? This is my accent. And it was that awkward moment where I thought, oh my god, I thought she was kidding. I thought she was joking. So I just put my head down and went, oh, sorry, it was just a joke. You didn't get the joke. And she just looked at me and just gave me a dirty look again and walked off. So yeah, I think I may have annoyed her. But then again, she was trying to sell a meerkat for £15 at a boot fair, so I don't think she would have sold that somehow. But yeah, so that was probably the most embarrassing moment and most awkward moment I've had at a boot fair. Next one, boot fair bugbear of the year. I mean, for those of you that know me, I've only been to a handful of boot fairs anyway this year, but probably the worst is when you're a bit late for something, when you know that something good has just gone. But I think probably worse than that is when you actually physically see the person in front of you holding an item that you want, and they're kind of looking at it, and they go to put it down, and just as you think, here's my chance, they suddenly pick it up again and take a closer look, and then they go to put it down, and you think, come on, just put it down, and then suddenly it's under their arm, and you think, oh, almost had that. But so that's probably the most annoying thing is just getting there a little bit late, or physically seeing someone holding an item that you really want, or goes for good money. Yeah, that's probably the most annoying thing for me. That, and also incomplete stuff when it says complete. That drives me nuts. But that also drives me nuts in charity shops. So, next one, best feedback of the year. Whew. There's probably two here. Yeah, there's definitely two. The first one was the joypad that I sold, a PC joypad. It was like a generic, I think it was a Sci-Tech joypad, and I picked it up, funny enough, to a big fair that I go to, and it wasn't so much the value of it or anything. It was like 13 quid, but I sold it to this guy, and it went for the GSP program to Germany, and I didn't think much of it. I had the email saying, success, your package has been delivered, and what happened was, this guy's feedback was basically along the lines of, I've used this pad for 15 years. It's the only pad I love, the only pad that I know. I love FIFA. I play FIFA every single day, and recently my pad broke, and basically my heart was broken because I couldn't play the game that I love so much. But I went on eBay, I saw your controller for sale, I bought it, I loved it, he delivered on time, he's perfect seller, I can now play my dream again. And I'm like, wow, I don't know how much of that was poor translation or it was true, I don't know, but I sent him a message just saying, I'm so glad you're happy, and I'm a big fan of FIFA myself. And he replied with, look, we must play a game of FIFA. If you have FIFA now, let's play a game. We can have Germany v England. And then he put, I think there's a little bit in brackets, he put, we can avoid penalties if you want. So a little dig at England. But yeah, it was fantastic feedback to get. And also another bit of feedback that I got, which was a pair of Union Jack boots that I sold, and they kind of looked like Dr. Martin boots, but they had a Union Jack flag on the front. And this guy, he sent me a best offer, which was a little bit lower than I wanted, but he basically said, I've got my anniversary coming up, and I've met my wife like 20 years ago, and I've got this surprise party planned for her, where when I met her, she had like a pink mohawk, and she dressed in leathers, and she had these boots, and the boots she was wearing when I first met her, and yours look exactly like it. And I had them listed for like 20 quid, and he offered 15. And I thought, you know what, it may be a mug off story, I don't know, but I'm going to accept it. I'm going to trust this guy. And I sent them to him. I said to him, I'd get them to him as quick as possible. And he had the anniversary and stuff. And what happened was he left me great feedback saying, thanks to this seller, he may have prolonged my marriage for another 20 years with these fantastic boots. And I just, it makes you feel so good and so high about what you do sometimes. And he actually sent me a picture of him and his wife dressed in like punk rocker gear and stuff, and she had the boots on, and yeah, it was that was really nice to get. So so that's my best feedback. Product that has surprised you this year. I think overall it's obviously been Pieface. Although there was a few rumours a few months ago that it might be a good seller from a few resellers, I never jumped on it. I wish I did, but I didn't. But for me, probably this, strange or I think what's the term you used? Surprised was, maybe the pass out game, because I didn't know if that had any value at all when I purchased it. So to buy it and then find out it cost for £40 plus was a real genuine surprise to me. And it's always good when you can pick up stuff that you've never seen or heard of before. I mean, I'm slowly now trying to get into different niches and areas, and yeah, just this week I picked up a job lot of beer pump clips that just clip onto the pump so people know what beer they're buying. And that looks like they have like insane value, and I paid like £2.50, so that looks like it could end up being quite a surprise purchase for me, but as I've not sold them yet, I can't really add that. So yeah, maybe the pass out game for me. I think everything else I kind of already knew roughly the value. Although saying that, I did have a book go on FBA this week, which I paid 50p for, and it sold this week for £26. And I didn't scan the book when I purchased it. I just kind of took a punt on it, and yeah, so 50p to £28 was quite a surprise for me. Bestseller this Q4. Because I kind of buy and sell one-off items and a bit of everything, I don't really have one specific product that has sold loads and loads and loads, but I think probably video games. I think this week alone well, just in the last 10 days I've probably sold just over £150 worth of video games, from PC to Xbox Original, 360, Xbox One, PS2, PS1. Just all kinds of games go at this time of year, and yeah, so that's probably video games as a whole category. It's hard to pinpoint one, but yeah, that's probably my best. And aim for 2016. My aim for 2016 is just to be better at every single part of this business. Like I said before, I ordered the thermal printer so I can be a bit more efficient in my FBA. I've got my provisional license going now as well. That application is in, so I should have that in the new year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can learn to drive sometime in the next, I don't know, few, maybe more months, which would really evolve this business when I can drive, because I miss out on so much at the moment because I just can't get there. I want to hit charity shops like 3 to 4 times a week, rather than kind of. So I tend to do once, twice a week, but only my local ones. So I want to do 3-4 times a week. Just hit them early, hit them fast, and I want to network a bit more with charity shops as well, and try and get my name in there and give them some lists and that. I'm looking at buying a lighting setup, much like Zahir Malik's setup that he has, which I think is perfect for eBay, certainly, for what I want to do. I've already got the camera and stuff. It's mainly just the lighting and that. I want to do auction houses. I want to try and involve them into my business somehow. The obvious is to go there and buy stuff. That's the best way to do it. But I've got a local one near me, which I'm going to do in the new year. So yeah, it's mainly just to be better at every aspect. So better photos, better listings, more listings. Of course, I want to max out my listings. I certainly want to do FBA more. Really give that a good go and send up maybe a box or two every week or two. It's been so fruitful for me over the last 10 days that I've been doing it that it seems silly to kind of back away from that. But I'll still be doing eBay. It goes without saying. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Obviously I have to tag 2 people, and the 2 people I'm going to tag are Vini Gardner and also Sam's Pickup and Buys. Hopefully both of you, everyone who's watching this knows resellers. Watch their videos if you haven't. I'll put a link to both of their channels in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for tagging me, Zahir. I enjoyed making this, and yeah, so happy Christmas, happy New Year, happy holidays, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers.